And welcome everyone to an NABC chat. I'm Andy Katz. Pleased to be joined by Eric Konkol from Tulsa. And Eric, I am old enough to remember the sort of glory era of Tulsa, back when Bill Self was the head coach, when I was covering the 16 team WAC. So I know that this program has a great history, uh, fan support, and good facilities and everything in the state of Oklahoma. And it was just a matter of time before things got back in that direction. I know it's only December, but it feels like we've turned the corner here where you've got a contender, to be back in sort of the mainstream. How'd you do it?
Well, you're right, Andy. It is a special type of place. I experienced it as a young GA under Buzz Peterson back in 2000. We won the
Yeah, I
NIT.
was there before that.
Yeah. So even, from Nolan Richardson to Tubby Smith to then Bill Self, there's a great basketball history here in this town, and it's something that we've been working really hard to revive. And it's been a slow build, but it really comes down to the type of players that we've got. It's a connected group, it's a very competitive group, and they've just been able to really maximize each other. And so we're excited about the journey we're on.
So obviously you have history there. You know what that program can be. We're in a different era now, obviously, than the 90s and the early 2000s. But I've always felt like this program has a base. It can differentiate itself from the two major state schools, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Since you've been there, how have you tried to get that alignment and to differentiate this program within the state?
Well, as you just mentioned, it comes down to a lot of support, and it's support outside the walls of this campus. It's the business owners, the financial resources. We're a smaller private school, but we also have a number of people that are very passionate about this place. And much of the work that we did as a coaching staff and our administration is get out there and so that we could become more, not just committed, but more of a player in this new era. And that's really helped us build not just this roster, but become competitive. And that's been a big part of it. But we're the University of Tulsa. We represent more than 1 million people here in this community, and we want to be the city's team.
Obviously, we're in sort of the golden age of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They won the NBA championship. Basketball's a thing in Oklahoma. Obviously, it's got great, football history, but how have you also been able to capitalize on the love of hoops in the state?
Well, it's funny. One of the things that I'll mention to players, and there's a lot of recruiting that goes on in the spring, and I'll ask, "Have you ever been to Oklahoma?" Some will say no. What's the first thing you think of when I say Oklahoma? And they think of the Thunder. I mean, just having the NBA champion here, such a recognizable organization, it means that sports are important here, and they are. It's a great state for sports, and so we're right down the road. I mean, we're an hour and a half away from Oklahoma City. And there's a real passion here for not only the NBA, but college athletics. And once people come to campus, they feel it.
So, how did you deal with retention and this roster build to put together a contender?
Well, we had 4 players come back, 3 of them scholarship players, one of them an all freshman team member from last year, a big kid on Ian Smichael, another Tyler Barron, who was a developmental big guy that's really accelerated his growth and has helped us, and then KJ Martin, who redshirted just as a second semester early enrollee. But much of our roster has come from the transfer portal. We have another high school player and a junior college player. We prioritize shooting, but we also prioritize positional size and just competitive guys that have been productive for winning teams. And so far, that's been a good formula.
In the American, obviously, Memphis has had a good run. North Texas, UAB's had some moments. Uh, what did you see in terms of, ascending now? And again, I know it's early, but there's no question you're going to be in the mix for this championship run to win this league. What did you see in terms of building towards this season to be in this position?
Well, this is a great league. I mean, there's great depth. And although there's a lot of turnover in our league like everybody else's. I just think that there's a stable of coaches that have been very successful for quite some time in this league or others, including the new coaches that just joined us. But if you look at historical numbers, we know that we have to defend, and that's something we're still trying to improve. But because of that, we felt like we got to find an offense that can score in this league. It's physical, it's old. You travel the entire country. You've got to be able to go on the road and win. And so we were able to find a group of guys that were older, had experienced success, but played in the NCAA tournament, but also were productive, especially in shooting the basketball. So we hope, league play starts December 31st, but we've got a few more non-conference games to go, but that's where we're pushing towards, is trying to win a league championship.
Yeah, I mean, for people that aren't as familiar, I mean, Wichita State's had great history. Obviously, Tulane has. I mentioned UAB and Memphis and North Texas, and you got South Florida and Temple and even go, Charlotte, UTSA, East Carolina. I mean, all these different teams at some point have had their moment. And it just feels like, as I said at the top, like Tulsa's ascending back up. Um, what I just want to circle back to the alignment, because I think that's so critical right now in college basketball. What have you found from president on down to empower you to put together a competitive team that can compete for a title?
You're exactly right, Andy. I mean, I'd love to, take a moment and first recognize Justin Moore, our new athletic director, and he came from Texas A&M. He brought a staff of people that had been a part of this process with the new, from not just NIL but rev share, and being on the front end of all this and putting systems in place to support myself and our coaching staff. And that has been huge. Our president, our board, there is great alignment here at the University of Tulsa. Know how important athletics are, know how important men's basketball is, and the history that we've had here. I was a small part of it as a young coach, and want nothing more than to bring a product that people are proud of, that they can rally around. And but I'm thankful for the commitment from the powers that be here on campus.
All right, so it's a little bit of an entree nationally. Before I let you go, a player or two that you think needs to get some more national recognition, who would it be?
Well, I think we start with Miles Barnstable. Great story. He was a Division III player in Wisconsin for two seasons, actually in the same league that I played in college. Spent a year at St. Thomas, and has really continued to grow. He's really a late bloomer of a person, physically, and has really taken off. And then a guy like David Green, who's been around, and we had him at Louisiana Tech for a year. He's just that steady hand. He's that guy that has seen everything. Those two guys, a guard, a forward, have really been anchors. But here's the thing, Andy, we play 10 guys. We play with a lot of depth. We're a max effort type team. We want to share the basketball. Well, we actually have probably 8 starters on this group. So every night can be somebody else's night.
All right, Tulsa, make sure everyone follows the Golden Hurricane. They're going to be in this race to potentially win the American this season. Appreciate your time, Eric.
Thank you, Andy.